Yeah, the difference between what colleges want you to think and what's actually going on out there is really pretty different and really important to understand if you're going to play on an even field with colleges and universities during the college search. So, the first thing that's really important to understand is that a couple of decades ago, colleges' sticker prices were pretty low, and most, not all students, got scholarship money for need. There wasn't really very much merit money. And then colleges thought, you know what, we need to make our sticker prices high because the public thinks that if your sticker price is real high, then you must be really good. So a couple of colleges tried that. They got more applications, and all the rest of the colleges went, hey, we're going to do that too. And so eventually, every college, and it started out really just every private college, but then the public colleges even joined in, so that now almost every college operates with this high sticker price that almost no one pays, and then an actual price that's really substantially less than the sticker price. The average discount across all colleges and universities now is more than 50%. And there's plenty of reasonable, well-known small colleges out there where the average discount's close to 65%. Now, colleges have gotten real hung up on this discount rate, and so it makes them panic. But that's the way that they've had to do things in order to get students because, as you all know, family incomes haven't gone anywhere for most Americans. So on the one hand, you got sticker prices going up, mostly based on a flawed belief. Then the actual prices having to stay much flatter because people can't afford it. And colleges are figuring that out. And that now runs into a whole other subject that's now finally getting a much more play. And that is that all of the research on college student success tells us essentially the same thing, that by and large, it doesn't really matter where you go to college. Yes, there's some instances where it matters a lot, and you can analyze it statistically. So the student's coming from very low income, like a homeless student from very difficult circumstances, gets into an Ivy League institution, and suddenly their whole life has changed. Okay, but for the rest of us, generally, it really doesn't matter where you go to college so much as what you do in college. And that information is starting to become more prevalent. And it's becoming more prevalent in part because people are seeing these high sticker prices and saying, come on, really? That just can't be the case anymore. So colleges are much more aware of that now than they ever have been. The third thing that's going on is really important for you to know because it really gives you power as a consumer. And that is colleges depend on there always being far more students than there are seats in colleges. That's why you have an application process. And that's why it's this whole attitude of you got to try and fight real hard to get into a place and that you might be left on the outside looking in. Well, the demographics have shifted so that at least right now, nationally, it's pretty flat. Although in the Northeast and in the Midwest where I am, it's already started to drop a bit. And there are now far more seats in colleges than there are students to fill them. Now, why, if the demographics are flat, has that sort of balance between students and seats flipped? Well, the reason that has happened is because as family incomes were flat, colleges realized that they're not going to make additional money on each student paying more every year. So we're going to have to figure out another way to make our revenue and pay our new water bill and increase the salaries of professors. And we're going to make our money on volume, which means we're going to have to increase the size of our school. So many colleges really focused on just getting more students, more than they had last year, and growing the size of the student body so that they could have more revenue to then pay their bills. And when the demographics flipped, not only are there less students, but now you really can't do the volume game anymore. What that means for you is that you've got a ton of power, and the colleges are in a position where they're just trying as hard as they can just to get students. And they'll make sacrifices in order to get students. Now, is this the case for every college out there? No. There's a few colleges that are way up on the spectrum of really selective, and you know who those schools are. But you also know that that's a very thin slice of all higher education institutions, and that probably 85% of institutions are in that other boat where they just need students and they will do whatever they got to do to get